going to just take a moment and try to put yourself here. Now, what is that sweet, sweet sound you hear? It's not just any old sound. That, my friends, is the sound of perseverance, hard work, teamwork, determination, and success. Hockey has played a huge role in my life and has taught me so much about those terms I just mentioned. I've been playing since I was 5 years old. That's me. I'd like to speak with you a bit tonight about what I consider to be the most exciting sport on the face of the earth. And that's just it. Hockey, contrary to popular belief, is played all over the globe by both men and women of all ages. First, let's get down to some basics. In a hockey game, there are two teams playing against one another, 5 skaters and 2 goalies aside with substitutes, generally played on ice, but can be played on other surfaces. Your basic objective is to score goals and to prevent your other team from scoring goals. The team with the most goals at the end of the game wins the game. So how exactly does one score a goal? Well, what you want to do is make your way up the ice, skating, and carrying the puck on your stick. You'll pass back and forth between you and your teammates, and when you get an opportunity to shoot, you'll strike the puck with your stick in an effort to beat the goalie to the back of the net. The NHL has some of the best goal scorers in the world. Let's see how it's done. If the video starts. Is there a way I can just...
Okay, let's just imagine this didn't happen quickly.
We are experiencing technical difficulties.
It's an intermission.
Mexican wave, Mexican wave. I know, you gotta turn around.
Okay. Alright.
Nothing happened.
Alright, let's see how it's done. Like I mentioned, the NHL, the National Hockey League in the U.S., has some of the best players from all over the world, and typically the best goal scorers. However, it's not all about offense. Sometimes the best offense is a great defense. I play defense, and this is the part that I love. Now, the first thing you learn as a little kid playing hockey, and the message that sticks with you always, is to keep your head up. Because if you don't, well, you can die. Now, as you see here, hockey can get pretty rough, and this is where penalties come in. It depends on behavior. Referees will call penalties like elbowing, cross-checking, tripping, minor penalties, which require 2 minutes in what's called a penalty box. Players will go to the penalty box, also known as the sin bin, and they'll sit for 2 minutes waiting to come back out to play. After that 2-minute period, or that 2-minute piece of time, they're allowed to come back out. Now, there are some penalties that require more time in the sin bin or the penalty box. One of those, and the most notorious in the NHL, is fighting. NHL players love to fight, and best friends, worst enemies will fight one another at the drop of a hat. Actually, it's not necessarily the drop of a hat, it's at this question.
We'll see if they go.
You want to go?
And they talk, and they yap, and they yap, and they yap, and they go, yeah, they go! Just right in center ice. He's got his arm free, and he's got his sweater on.
Hybrid and boxing and hockey.
Tony Twist one of the best fighters ever to play the game. I'm friends with him on Facebook. He has no idea why. So, all that said, what do we play for? Well, I personally play for competition. It's a good workout, for fun, exercise, etc. Those guys, they play for one thing and one thing only, and that's a chance to drink from Lord Stanley's Cup. The Stanley Cup is the trophy in sports, and to win takes an amount of determination that really none of us can possibly imagine. Here we have the road to the Cup. Top 8 teams from the Eastern Conference versus the top 8 teams from the Western Conference will play 4 series, 7 games apiece. That means the team that wins the Stanley Cup could have potentially played 28 games in a row to win the Stanley Cup. This is a grueling test of endurance. But when you win, well...
Your feelings on winning this cup?
It's, I mean, it's real hard to explain.
There are no words. I want to introduce you to some of the all-time greats. This first guy has the most goals ever, the most assists ever, the most points ever. Wayne Gretzky. He's known as the Great One. As a kid, his dad would sit him in front of the TV and he would draw plays on a piece of paper, a chalkboard. His secret was that he would never be where the puck was at a given time. He always knew where it was going, and he scored tons and tons of goals this way. This next guy is an old-timer, Gordie Howe. He actually played in Chicago. This guy was feared. The first thing he would do, he played at a time before goalies wore face masks. The first thing he would do would be to skate out onto the ice and fire a shot, often harder than 80, 90 miles an hour, directly at a goalie's face. So the next time he came down, they'd be really afraid of him, and he put in 1,000+ goals that way. Finally, my favorite. My dad and I loved this guy. Watched him growing up. Great guy on and off the ice. Very intelligent defenseman, and one of the hardest shots ever recorded. I want to thank you for your attention tonight. I hope you see why hockey is such a great sport, and if you ever do get the opportunity to lace up the skates, please don't pass it up. It's some really good fun.